Hello and welcome to this video all about CTC Math. My name is Heather Woody and I blog at blogshewrote.org. Today I'm sharing a little bit about the program called CTC Math. A lot of you may have heard of it and I'd like to take you on a little tour today. But first I want to tell you how long we've been using it, why we use it, how we use it. And we've been using this program probably for about 3 to 4 years. We use another math program with most of our high schoolers, but every now and then they need an extra explanation or a different perspective on a math problem, and that's when we tend to use CTC for those kids. And I have one high schooler who uses CTC Math full-time, so it's his full math curriculum, that's what he uses. And it's been a really successful program for him for a few different reasons. So what I'm going to do is take you on a little tour of CTC Math from an insider's point of view. So I'm going to take you into where the teachers panel is, show you a little around there, and then I'm going to take you, show you what the student view might look like, and then back to the parents area where I'm going to show you how to access different units, and then how to assign assignments and how to keep track of them and things like that. So we're going to go on a little tour. I'm going to share my screen so that I can do that. Just find the right one here. Here we go. So here I am in the teachers section of CTC Math. You can see that I have my students listed here, and those of you who know me know that I have 2 homeschool graduates now and 2 high schoolers. So we've been using this long enough that I still have all 4 of my students listed here. Only one of them uses it full time, one uses it on occasion. So that's where you can access your students right through here. You can even click into them so that you are looking at it from their point of view. This is the home page. You can see here, it will list the activity that your students have been involved in. So I have one that is using it, and that's who's been signing in. And we've been off for the summer since about May, and so we checked back in to kind of take a look around. But he hasn't done math in exactly, well, 60 days that's been. We ended a little early this year on account of the pandemic, so that's how long it's been since he's been diving into his math. But we begin this week, so this next week coming up, and so we'll see that update. I can add a task from here, or I can add it in other places. So one of the things that I can show you here are different awards. So this shows the student who's been working on geometry, and it shows how his performance is. Now, I don't always use the rewards and the weekly reports, and I don't always have him have his grades done inside CTC. And one of the reasons for that is because if we're going at his own pace, he might not be getting the assignments from me through the program and then working on them and having it graded. We went through for a while there where we graded it manually because it was a better fit for him at the time. And then with this course in geometry, he's gone back to inputting his answers and then getting his score back. So you can use it either way. If you don't feel like you want to automate all of that, you don't have to, but it gives everything for you to, those tools are available. So then there's the weekly reports. The weekly reports, generally speaking, I have emailed to me, and you can choose what frequency they're emailed, but it tells me what activity he's done. It tells me all the lessons and how much of them he's done, so I can check on what he's been working on. So let's come up here and take a look at the tools. The tools will tell you all the different courses, all the different everything. So you can see here on this page, I'm looking at the kindergarten. The first unit in kindergarten is numbers 1 to 5 in the section on numbers, patterns, and algebra, okay, for the kindergarten level. But, so that means that you can use CTC Math for any level child. So if you pay one fee to CTC Math, you'll get, as you saw in my student tray, you'll get the program for as many students you have, and then you can choose any level that they're in. So there's no, oh, I got to get the next math program, whatever. Nope, you just go on to the next section, the next course. So it's one low price for all of your math students. So even if you were paying the full price, which usually they have a pretty good rate for the family, for homeschooling families, for 18 months or so, this is a really nice investment, because whether your students use it full-time or not, you have access to the tools that they provide. Before I go any further, I'm going to maybe go back to the homepage. Let me see if this is where it is. So there's a parent book that you can access through the question area. And so it used to be labeled parent, but it's not right now. But you can go there at any time. I can switch to the student view so I can look at how the student views it. Student cannot see answers from the student view, but sometimes I might want to take a look at exactly what my son is seeing at any given time. So let's go back into tools. And in order to find assignments or know where he is, I can click on all courses, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose geometry. So then this is all of the lessons that are going to be in the geometry course, the full year. Okay, so let's just take the first one and click on it, and you scroll down the whole page and you'll see there's a video, there's questions, and there's the summary. So I'm going to click on the video. This is the video that's going to play to give you the instruction. And then your student can come and do some questions, and you have to shade in the parallelogram, choose it, submit it. There you go. Now this is just like based on the video that they just did. Okay, so that is one way that you can use that. So I'm going to go back to geometry, and I'm going to be doing, I'm in high school geometry. I'm going to go back to part 1. I'm going to choose the 2D shapes, and let's click into types of triangles, because what I want to do is show you there's a lesson summary. You can open the problems in the PDF if you want. Some of the units, like this one, it's all questions that come and you just answer them here. At other times, let me take you back to geometry. Let's go to part 2 and perimeter and area and see if they have a different one, because then eventually you're going to have a PDF to open that has the problems on it. And so it's going to ask you to do the problems. And so you can download those, you can open them in a new window. It just kind of depends on what they're doing with that particular video. So note that when I'm looking at the lessons themselves, I'm looking at what the student sees. Okay, that's important. That's why we're just seeing the problems, we see the lesson summary, we see the worksheet. So before, this is new, we only saw the questions. Now we can see the worksheet. So let me view the worksheet in a new window, and this is the assignment that would be given to your student. They have a set of answers, or I'm sorry, a set of questions. Sometimes the questions are in different sections, like usually 10 per section. They might have 2 to 3 per lesson. So what happens is you have all the questions, and then you have an answer bank for that section. So this is Q1, it's these 10 problems, and then they have the answers to this section. And then down at the bottom, there's another 10 problems, and you have those answers. And it's these answers, they have to translate the answer that they worked out, find it on the list, choose the letter that it corresponds to, and that's what they're going to put in to get the answer that they, so here I'll show you, you translate that to the letter A through Z that you saw on the worksheet. They put in for number 1 what that letter grade is, and then they submit it, okay? Once they submit it, they can view the solutions. But as a student, they can't see those, okay? So I'm gonna take you back to the parent view here. I'm gonna go back to tools. I'm going to go back to geometry. And I'm going to choose a later lesson. Let's just choose solid shapes. Then you can see in the parent view, I can look at the video, I can look at the questions, the worksheet, the solutions, and the summary. So if I click on solutions, then I get the PDF with the answers. Now this one, I didn't pick a good one. Let me see if I can pick one that I know has a little bit of extra solution to write about. And so here's the one for bisecting lines. Okay, it shows you the answer. If you were to go into, and I can do that real quick. Let's get out of geometry. Geometry happens to be where my student is right now. Let's go back to Algebra 1. Let's go back to substitution. I know that's going to look fun. And find the solutions here. And you're going to see they're going to give you how to work out that problem, the various steps. And that's, your student doesn't see these. These are in your parent area. If we go back, so now you know where to find the courses, you know how to find a particular lesson title, you know how to find the answers, the questions, the summary, and all of the things that you need to know for that particular lesson. I will often come back here and I will take a look at the solutions if my student is having any problems, but otherwise, if he's doing the self-check, then with entering his answers, then it's going to grade him. It's when he's not sure, your student doesn't know, that I go back and have them do that. The other thing that you can download is the checklist for that particular course. So I've been working in geometry, and this just gives you, here is all the things in written form that you as the parent can write this down, when it was completed and the grade that they got. So that's for your record keeping, and then you can save that to your computer. So let's go back to tasks and take a look. Let's say I wanted to add a task for a particular student. So I'm going to write add a task. I am going to add a recipient. So I'll just give one to Joshua here. I'm going to look at the lessons to see what he needs to be given. I'm going to choose one for him. And let's just say I want him to solve linear equations. Okay, I can choose whether he has to be, it has to be done in order. I can hide a bunch of things. And then I can save that task. Oh, I have to add work. Did I not add work? No lessons have been selected, but I thought sure I had. Let's choose this one. There we go. Okay, I didn't click in, I clicked on the whole thing. I did not click in the circle. So there you go. This is one that I don't use because I work with kids who have chronic issues, so I'm not always going right to the next thing all the time. I can change the due date, but this will let you know that the due date has passed, and then they begin to stack up. So if you're working through your math on the daily, that's the way it goes each time, then definitely you're going to want to use this feature because it's so helpful. If you are a person who doesn't assign the next thing and doesn't want to add a due date, then you don't have to. So I'm going to delete this one so it doesn't show up, but that gives you an idea of how to use that particular view. So if I come back to the home page by clicking on the CTC Math, let me see if I can click in where it says need help. So here it is. It just says need help. Now it takes you to the parent user guide. It used to be labeled as the parent user guide. So now it's just like need help, click here, and look at all these videos. It tells you how to get started. It shows you how to add the tasks, adding students, and how to get the things that you need, how to add tasks, how to use the program. So this is very clever. It's useful. I did use it to figure out where do I find if I want to manually add tasks or know what's coming or look for those solutions. That's what I really wanted to know, is how to look for solutions. It will tell you. If you want to switch to the student view right from the top, you can do that. And this shows that I'm looking at the geometry course. And I can see all the things here. So that's the tour of CTC Math. Like I said, we use it. I'm going to stop sharing my computer screen. We use CTC Math in a couple of different ways. I've written about it a number of times on my blog, and what I'm going to do is put those blog posts below so that you can see them if you want to see more of the nuts and bolts, more of the benefits, why we decided to use it. One of the things I love is that if a student is unsure, they need more help, they can go back and redo the video. It kind of puts the task of learning and the ownership into your students' hands. That's one thing I really love about this program, is that it gives them the tools they need to be asking questions, trying again, and it gives me as the parent tools to help my student should they need it, because I can watch a video and I can kind of firm up what they might be having problems with and kind of speak their language and deliver that content to them in a different way. I really enjoy the way they can access it themselves, maybe grade it themselves. Early on, the one who uses it all the time, I didn't have him doing that. I was kind of working through it with him, and then now he feels more confident that he can move forward and do that. So it's an exciting program because it's very cost effective for homeschool families, and it delivers all the content. So it's worked out for us pretty well. Students of mine who use other math programs often use this to kind of check on something that they don't understand. Everything is delivered in a very organized format. It's much easier to find than free tutorial programs that are out there. So we've made use of it in that way as well. So I have a blog post all about how to use this with chronically ill teens, because that unfortunately is one of our specialties here at Blog She Wrote. And then I have one on using it as an add-on to another math program. And I have a post all about how we use this to build math confidence. So I'm hoping you'll check out the blog post, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. Thanks.